You might not like this video, but embrace it. So, hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you are new, please subscribe, hit the bell button, like, and obviously hit a comment somewhere. Let me know what you think. But we're going to talk about this tweet first. The Dow Jones industry just closed above 29,000 points. You are so lucky to have me as your president, winking face. With Joe Biden, it would crash. I think that's a typo anyways. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the market in terms of stock is a bit of a speculation bubble right now. Look at Tesla for an absolute concrete example of what's happening. Look at Apple as an example as well. All the other tech stocks doing well. And you've got to look at the collaboration between the stimulus checks and what's been said in the markets as to why that is happening. So I'll explain a few things of what I've done recently. This morning, in fact, I've skimmed profit off my bags. Simple as that. Since April to now, I've made a huge chunk of money. Very, very grateful for what the market's given me. And I always say that. Be grateful for what the market gives you. Ultimately, though, the money that I've skimmed off the tops of my bags is a risk. We could go higher. This is crypto, by the way. Just remember. If it goes wrong, I'm still in my positions. It'll go up. I just won't make as much. But I'm trying to keep some money laying around just in case things go shit. Let me explain. So, when you look at stimulus, when you look at the rise of the Dow Jones, the rise of the Nasdaq, there's big problems. But the one thing that's really starting to eat at me is the manipulation spikes that we're getting in crypto. Not so much in Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. I'm used to that. It's the new people going into certain things in and around the yield farming space. For example here, CZ's tweet. Unpopular opinion. I see a lots of bubbles in the DeFi space. That's absolutely 100% right. You got to just look at Hot Dog Coin, for example, yesterday when it absolutely died. Image for you to see. But ultimately, I believe the core concept of staking coins to provide liquidity for a return will stay. And I think that too. I think Curve and stuff like that in terms of how it does work is really, really cool. But these super duper doopity doop doops, as in 600% yields, are ridiculous. Are fucking ridiculous, right? You got to look at it as like, I don't want to say the S word, but look at it as a scam. If you go into a shop and you buy something and you are promised you are going to get a return of investment of 2,000% within a year, you're going to go, what? Say again, over. You'd be dubious. But in the world of crypto, perfectly fine to do that. Just crack on, put your tether in, off you go. Who knows what's happened, how it's built. We've already had 2 exit scams in the last week, okay? We've had 500 new tokens release on Uniswap over August. It is speculation. It is hype. Now, there's been a few little things as well happening recently. Big bit of news is obviously this. The police reportedly raiding the BitHub exchange. In line with trading volume, fraud, market manipulation. Ooh. So, with that being said, is this the FUD reel starting to come out? And we're going to look at the chart in terms of what's happened over the last 2 years at this time period. We always seem to dump into winter and we seem to recover December into January, dump again, then go on to a nice little run. We've had that periodically for the last 2 years. So, with me skimming my profits off the table, allowing for some good risk management, if it goes wrong, I've always said this, my money will go up, just not as much. I've got a load of money. I can go and buy a sports car with that and do whatever the hell I want. I'll enjoy my life, doesn't matter. But ultimately, be careful. Be very, very, very careful in where you're putting your money. Do your research and when to do it. Because we're going to look at the chart and I want to show you a few things. So we're going to go back in time a little bit, okay? Big chart, let's go for it. Coinbase. Horrendous, isn't it? You got to look at it and you think, is it bullish, is it bearish? Now, I know a lot of people go, oh, the stock to flow model's correct and stuff. Bitcoin does not just go up based off that. There's bigger players in this market that are willing to do whatever the fuck they want to get whatever the hell they want. Simple as that. You've got to play the game. The game is buy low, sell high. Okay, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to buy here, it should be the other way around, boys and girls. If you are a serious investor and you are wanting to make money, you have to embrace the bear market. And I tweeted that this morning. Embrace it. The biggest wealth generation is created in the dips, in the lows. Now, I'm not talking about buy the dip as in the little dips. The reason why I've took money off the table is to put it back in the fucking market. Why? Because I believe we are going to go lower. I just feel in my experience in the market, and when you look at where we've been in the past at this sort of time zone, time range, stuff like that, when you look at how high the stock market is, potential pandemic issues coming in as well with unemployment, all kinds of horrible, nasty news will probably come out. That will obviously affect financial markets. So that's my hedge. Simple as that. I hold in crypto. I've got some in reserve in stable currency for it to come down. Now, when we just go to the left a little bit, let's look at the end of the bull run, right? Happy days, bearish. This could be the anomaly. This could be the random bull run that just happened, right? We may not see another one until next year or maybe the year after. We don't know. We don't know how the market's going to play out. But what I will say, and I always maintain this, institutional investment will not come in at 12k. It won't come in at 12k. It will come in lower. But look at those support levels and see where you can plot places to put your money at appropriate levels. If this is, not confirmed yet, a bearish turn and we start turning around and it starts to retrace properly and correct, embrace it. Buy some more. Simple as that. The fundamentals haven't changed. Bitcoin's still what it is, still the king. But would you want to buy now just in case it doesn't happen? Or would you like to wait and go, cool? Because even if you miss out on buying Bitcoin at these levels, you can just buy an altcoin, and you can just sell into Bitcoin. You do know that. You do know that you can physically do that to make Bitcoin, so it's fine. You've got to look at that situation as well. So when we're looking at this, right, we're looking at this time of year. August time, we had a rally this time in 2018. We dumped. We went into a range band, we dumped majorly, right? That, part of the market. We then look at February 2019, started to rally up. This year we had the COVID crash, but then we had a rally like this. We're looking like for like chalk and cheese in terms of the previous year, but now it's like for like between 2019 and possibly into 2020. And I'm going to show you, because look at this rally here. Cool, we're going up. Boom. Right, if you move over, COVID crash. This time again, looking literally a year later, what's happening? The market recovers nicely. We go right up to where these levels have been pretty much. Literally on the nose here, the 28th of June 2019. So there's a significant reason why we have literally stopped and turned around here. We've got wick there, and literally stop and turn dead. Is that the top? We don't know. It's too early to say. But you can bet your bottom dollar this. The opportunity of the upside potential is going to be quite hard to get. But when it is through that properly, the reward is going to be nice, because there's potential blue skies up there in terms of breaking through the clouds, through the resistance. However, we need, in my opinion, further liquidity lower down. I know, I've said it, lower down. What does that mean for us? If you're an investor, in my opinion, Bitcoin at this range, this level is high. If you put the weekly levels on Bitcoin and you're looking at the key turning points, you've got a weekly level here where we are roughly right now, right? Absolutely key level. Huge, monstrous level. You've obviously got stuff up here as well. You've got obviously the 16K. You've got obviously pretty much all-time highs. You've got previous levels in terms of this level here, the 6,800 where it turned around. That's a key level 2. You've got obviously this bottom level here from the bodies. There's so many little levels here that we can look at, and we can predict that we could probably go back down there again. And you've just got to take it and go with the information that you've got. The ultimate information that you need and you need to require is, when are you going to jump back in this market? Why are you going to jump back in this market, and when will you do it? Ultimately, the why should be easy. It's Bitcoin. It's fucking amazing. When am I going to do it? When it's lower than it is now. Because ultimately, the maths tells us, the timeline tells us we've been in this lower range, beyond 10k or below 10k even, a lot more than beyond it. That's just fact. So, just be careful. In my opinion, be careful. When you look at these weekly ranges and you look at all this kind of stuff, and you're thinking this is a potential top here, or even, let's just say this, right? We're going to go from this wick here all the way across, right? That, in my opinion, could be the top. That could be the top, which is literally 12k. So if it is, and you've got spare capital, the top tip is buy low. If you want to look for realistic zones to go for in terms of when to blooming possibly jump in, look at the fib levels. Look at, even if you're going right the way back from March up to this local top, and you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, where can I buy? Well, the answer's on a postcard. It's on the fib. It's telling you exactly where to ladder in. There's a big chunk of order area and support range up at this 9,500 level. Look at that. On the nose pretty much from these levels here all the way across. 9,530. That is one level. The next level is even more obvious when you look left. It's right across this whole band, this whole information of price action from the past. 7,800. There's even another one here where it's very obvious at 6.7. Will it go lower than 6.7? Maybe not. But it's worth putting an order in. If you've got spare capital and you're thinking, I really want more Bitcoin, and this is going bearish, why not? Because what could happen next is, and this is what I fundamentally feel and believe, and whether you agree with me or not is another thing. I personally think that this is a perfect setup for a liquidity tap of a lower range going into 2021, going into the big run, the proper run, the obvious run. I feel we've topped out. I feel that this will happen next. We're going to come down into these levels, right? We're going to tap up some nice liquidity and we're going to start looking at these low, breaking through these previous levels and possibly testing the all-time highs. That's what I fundamentally believe. Bitcoin is king, always will be king. But I also feel that we need some more investment lower down. We need some new bodies in the market. We haven't got new bodies. When you look at the search trends and the Google trends and stuff, it's nothing like the mania of 2017. But when you look at these extension tools and where we could actually go, would it shock you to see a 24,000 BTC from maybe a 7k bounce or even lower than that? Well, in my opinion, I think that is totally possible. Definitely not to rule it out. But in my opinion, I think 12k could be the top. And the reason why I've skimmed my profits off my investments is because I've got profit. I'm happy with that. If it goes lower, I will buy more Bitcoin. Simple as that. For the long term as an investment, to hodl, to stick with it. If those profits then materialize, I will do the exact same thing again in the next bearish turn. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. So, embrace the bear market. Accumulation of coins and assets that are strong fundamentally and have a test of time as well for long-term wealth is where you should be doing it. Not at these top levels. Not because the hope of buying high and hoping it goes higher. That is not how you do it. So, have a good one. See you again tomorrow, where I'm going to talk about another coin that I've not really talked about much for a long time, that I feel is a pretty solid one for the long term anyways. From